What up, y'all? Drew sells out week 22. What has been happening? A lot of different things. So much to the point that I should have prepared much more significantly to make this video, but we're going to go off the gut. Kirk Scully is in my house. He is on the phone with his bank. He has been here for the last 2 days, and that's been really, really good. I've taken some cool video on some stuff, interviewed Kirk in the back of the van, and honestly, what it feels like right now is expanding on what Drew Sells Out could be, followed by a necessary contraction. And I have had so much thinking that's been going on about Drew Sells Out recently, and it's weird because I have a strong desire just as a person, the phrase and the terminology and everything, becoming the most sponsored man of all time in order to give it all back to the people. I believe in that, and I really do believe in that, and I really love the idea of a giant platform of Instagram where we can highlight small, unique businesses and highlight small, unique individuals and just blow them up and do cool things and channel the attention and channel stuff money we get from large sponsors and use that to benefit small people. And I also think influencer culture is ridiculous and it's dumb and it's a degradation in some capacity of like what some people are doing, and we're highlighting people that shouldn't be highlighted, and we're not highlighting people that shouldn't be, that should be highlighted. And so there's just a lot. There's a lot that is there, but I'm realizing that what is the core? What is the essence? There is something about Drew Sells Out. I've gotten so many nice messages from randos, from strangers. It's like, yo, how do I help you? How can I be a part of this? What can I do? And I think the altruism is a part of that, and that's just like a part of me and who I am. From a lot of different spectrums, I really feel like I have what I need. I really feel okay, and I'm gonna be okay, and I don't feel like I need to worry about that. And so that's a huge comfort. That is like a grounding spot of who I am. I really love Jesus. I think that the gospel makes that really clear that he is going to take care of my needs in that space. And if you can trust that, I think it allows you to be a lot more generous with your time and your resources and things in that space. And so that is just a fundamental belief that I'm really lucky. I feel so much gratitude to have that. But if I'm paying attention to Drew Sells Out, and it's like, why are people like called to it and brought to attention? I don't think it's necessarily the altruism. It's not like people are like, oh, screw altruism. It's like, oh, altruism's cool, but like that's not exactly what is the essence of it, you know? And if I think about like a company, it's like, oh, like we'll give to them because they're altruistic. It's like, well, if we were going to be altruistic, we'd just be altruistic ourselves and give away a bunch of stuff, but that's not what we're trying to do. And so it's like, okay, what is cool for like businesses and beneficial for businesses, and then what is also like interesting and unique that is entertaining to people and like will like winsomely bring people alongside, instead of being like, will you please come alongside me, being like, no, like I want to join with that, like I want to come alongside you and make this thing happen. And I honestly think a lot of that comes with just being the most sponsored man in the world. And I think it kind of feels like a situation where if I'm becoming the most sponsored man in the world in order to give it all back to the people, and it's like, yeah, that's why I'm doing it, but it's like, is that why you're doing it at all? It almost kind of feels like a safety net built within there. And this is where I'm trying to figure out what exactly I feel and what exactly is truth and what is the distilling of the message, because for better or worse on the internet, you get a very direct and for me to know specifically directly, this is what I'm trying to do. This is the North Star, because there's so many things that I really believe in, so many things that I care about. But you can't do everything and care about everything. You really kind of have to dial it in. And so currently trying to decide whether doing it in this altruistic way, why I want to do that is going to be a part of it. Like I got so many bags of sunflower seeds. I don't need that many bags of sunflower seeds. But the question is, can I use that from the marketing standpoint? And I don't think I can get both. I don't think I can get tongue-in-cheek trying to become the most sponsored man in the world. Why? Because why not? And also because altruism, like even though that I think that this will eventually lead to that, you can't, I don't get the luxury of getting both messages, because having both of them makes it so that I get neither of them. I think I'm trying to mess around with that. So all of that to say, I'm confused. I'm confused and I'm excited, and I'm excited to be confused, and I'm confused that I'm excited. But I think that that'll be cool. So that's what's happening on the overall spectrum of what we're trying to do. And as far as sponsors and people in the van, Richie Mitch, I'm so excited. It's like one of my favorite bands from Denver. I think we're going to say what's up to them. And Rowdy Kombucha might happen, might not happen. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be interviewing Mark in Austin because they're having some crazy production issues that just started to happen with Chinook Seedery right now. So that might be a weird time frame. But we are going to do something with Stroop Waffle. And the new section of the idea might just be as a way of becoming the most sponsored man of all time, trying to do crazy ads for companies and just be like, who's next, man? Who's next? How can we level up on that space? But for that, you know, I need to be able to like pay Kirk to be with me, to be doing this work. Cause it's like, you know, I need to figure out a way to do that. And so we need to figure out some ways to actually make that happen. And, you know, it'd be ideal to not just be able to pay Kirk. I'd like to be able to like make some money too. But I really don't need to like press up too hard in that space. So can you tell it's hot in the van? I'm sweating. I love you if you're watching this. I don't know what this weekend's going to be, but I know that Kirk is here. I know the energy is high. I know we're just trying to do stuff, and both of us are such big thinkers, and I have such trouble being extremely like tactical and practical, and that's just a big place I need to get stronger because, you know, reality is where dreams meet actuality. Is that even a thing? Is that just obvious that is the case? And so what we can make happen, what we dream doesn't matter. What we can make happen does matter. And so trying to bridge that gap is going to be key, and trying not to burn out, trying not to be too roasted. I'd also like to throw a really big party in Austin. Kirk's here. We were going to do it sponsored. Maybe there's a band that my other roommate's friend that he was making a music video for. And then there's a huge backyard, and I'd be like, well, that would just be fun. And then maybe get it sponsored, but then it's like, oh, is there legality problems? So I don't know. That might happen. And then I think try to do the most sponsored man. It's the biggest sponsorship I can get in 24 hours of kind of like a bigger and better, but like with sponsorships in Austin in 24 hours. And then to make an ad, we have an ad for like HubSpot. I think that'll be cool. And we're thinking about making a like Rocky-esque video, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes, but I'm excited. I got to really dial it in. The messaging is going to be so key. And because there's so much that I care about. There just is so much that I care about. And it's like, okay, cool. Drew Sells Out is not everything. It is a very specific thing. And the only chance it has the potential to have like a wider reach is if you're really, really good with what it actually is. And I think that's a scarier space for me to be because there is some safety being like, oh, it's like altruistic. And if it's just me trying to become the most sponsored man in the world to highlight the fact that there's way too much money in this influencer space and that we all need to pay attention to how much we're being marketed to, that's a little bit scarier space that I'm trying to hit. But more honest maybe and more real. So who knows? That's a complete total switch from what I mentioned in my What You Need Wednesday on Wednesday. And so I don't know. There's something to Drew Sells Out. I keep getting messages from people that it's like really interesting and it's captivating, and I know I care about it, and just trying to make that happen and figure out what I do care about, because there's so much I care about that also intersects with what is resonating with people. And there's something there. There's something there. Claudia, tell me what it is. Hey, Claudia. So yeah, so I don't know. This is the video for today. This is week 22. I'm excited for Kirk to be doing more stuff and excited to be making dreams come true, because that's what it's all about. It doesn't mean anything at all. Dreams, that's what this whole this thing's running on dreams. It doesn't even take gasoline. It just takes dreams. I go to the gas station and said, do you guys have dreams? They're like, yeah, it's $3 a gallon. I'm like, that's awesome. All right, Drew Sells Out. Bop.